So I've decided to start a new segment here for the channel, Journalists Behaving Badly. Because if you haven't seen this by now, 1,100 New York Times employees are planning to strike by midnight tonight if their needs aren't met. Now, this goes back about a year and a half. There's been these failed negotiations between New York Times management and the staffers union. And don't you love it when these ultra-left news organizations go after other ultra-left news organizations and they act all shocked when you have a strike like this? So over at CNN Business, it says this, quote, "It's disappointing that they're taking such drastic action, given the clear commitment we've shown to negotiate our way to a contract that provides Times journalists with substantial pay increases, market-leading benefits, and flexible working conditions." This was an email sent out by President and Chief Executive of the Times, Meredith Kopit Levin. She sent this out Wednesday night. Now, the News Guild of New York, which represents journalists and other staffers at the Times, said in the statement that the walkout, quote, was due to the company's failure to bargain in good faith, reach a fair contract agreement with workers, and meet their demands. And according to Reuters, the News Guild of New York, the union here, has set a deadline for, as I was mentioning, midnight tonight. Now, this marks the first such strike since the late 1970s, early 1980s. And New York Times employees are following suit after Apple, Starbucks, Amazon employees have been staging these walkouts, demanding better pay, claiming unfair work conditions. And here's a tweet from the New York Times, from the New York Times Union. Quote, "Today we were ready to work for as long as it took to reach a fair deal, but management walked away from the table with 5 hours to go." The New York Times responded, quote, "It is disappointing that they are taking such an extreme action when we are not at an impasse." And according to the BBC, the firm promised readers, subscribers, that there would be no disruption in service. And there has been this talk about a 3% pay increase starting in 2023 through 2024. And they also nixed this idea of dropping these pensions. Now, by the end of 2021, the New York Times had employed 5,000 people, 2,000 or so of which were in the journalist field, some type of journalist capacity. But employees here are protesting excessive compensation for executives, these share buybacks, dividends, and they want better starting pay, better health and retirement benefits, and more benefits for remote workers. So that's what's going on with these workers at the New York Times that are planning to strike by midnight tonight if their needs aren't met. Thought I'd share this with you. Hope you enjoy it. First in a series of segments, journalists behaving badly, so we'll see what happens. And if they do go on strike, I don't think it'll be that big of a loss. But if you are a New York Times subscriber, never fear, there will be no disruption in service, according to New York Times management. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing we call the United States, and I'll catch you next time.